pressing the record. So now.
Yeah, okay. So now once again, once again with the recording. Yes, regarding the exercises in the PDF that's linked in the lab on the website, we have one task which will be optional for you because it's more aimed at full-on computer science programming students, and that's task 7, the last one. So yeah, once again, you can do this if you feel like it, but it's not required, and we will not quiz you on it on the assessment session. And otherwise, you can just follow the PDF as it's in its original form. And if you have, as Evgeny, I think, if I understood correctly, as Evgeny said earlier, if you have any issues with the exercises as you go through them, please just use the Discord. And we have separate channels for each lab. So we have one tech channel for lab 1, where you can post any questions you have. And that way, if someone runs into something that turns out to be a more common issue, then you can all benefit from it being solved in this central place instead of like sending me or getting an email and then only you know the reply. Let's have that in a more collected place.
Moreover, what I want to add here is based on my experience, and I not only I'm allowing it, I'm encouraging and I fully support, local problem resolution, because some of you will, find the solution faster than others. So if you know the answer to a posted question, so go on and add it to Discord. So I want to tell you right away. So the point with the labs that at the end, all of you can perform it and understand what you do. So it's not that you kind of have to get stuck with some, problem and not complete it. So and in this case, collaboration, even across the groups, is very much welcome.
Yeah. And otherwise, I think it was also mentioned earlier already, but please remember to put yourself in this lab assessment sign-up sheet for the Friday session. It's linked in the Canvas, like the exercise itself. I think, Evgeny, you explained this earlier, right? That we will ask them to demonstrate parts of the exercise. Or did I mishear that?
Say again.
You did explain earlier already how the assessment will go, right? Or did I
Yes.
mean?
Yes.
Okay, so I got that.
But let us stop here and let me ask all people in the chat. So, do you have any questions about the procedure for the assessment procedure? Please unmute yourself and speak up. So you don't need to raise hand. Just unmute and talk.
Relatedly, are there any questions on the setup, on the VM, on how to get this working?
I think I have a question, but I'm not sure. I'm going to look through the lab today because I noticed something about Docker in the lab, and my question is, should we install that in the virtual machine or on our local computer? Because I know
So
that
one of the
we're
exercises,
supposed.
not the whole lab, but just a part of it, I think task 6 it was, requires um, some use of Docker, but they already have
Yes.
the VM prepared for that. So you do that within the VM, and it should already be set up that you can just use Docker directly. You don't need to like install it yourself. There are they link to some tips on how to use it, if you're unfamiliar with it. So if we look at here's their GitHub from Seed Labs, where they have a variety of instructions, and they also have a section here called Docker, where you can find the seed manual Docker container, where they have a bunch of links for how to do stuff. The most relevant for you might be the brief tutorial on Docker. Not all of this is relevant for the exercise. It's just sort of the essentials. And there's also this cheat sheet here, which is this like the commands you will actually use most, which is just how to create and start up and stop these containers that you need for the exercise. But it's not going to be anything crazy. You don't have to like design your own Docker files or stuff like that. So
No.
but yeah, if you run into issues with that, feel free to put it in the Discord. But yeah, don't think you need to do anything crazy with the Docker on your own system or across systems or anything like that.
Okay, thanks.
Just for the sake of curiosity, can everybody in the chat just write what is your previous experience with A, Linux, and B, for example, Docker? Okay. Then it's well, I mean, for those of you who worked with it, and then it's can be easy. And please, then, if you see such questions, help others to navigate through it. For those of you who didn't use it at all, so well, again, the step-by-step instructions are quite extensive. So this will be the extra skill you will obtain in this course, absolutely, which I think is useful anyways.
Yeah, I would say don't worry about it too much if you haven't had much experience with either in this case, especially in the first lab. If you follow the instructions, and you even better if you have this book on hand, the Computer Internet and Security Hands-on Approach. The relevant chapters for the labs also have example Python code and walkthroughs of how to sort of solve simple problems on that topic. So it can be a good starting point if you sort of don't really know how to get going with an exercise. But yeah, overall, I would say if no one has had major issues yet with the setup, and no more questions about the exercise text itself, then I would say get started on it, and we will talk more on Discord if you run into any problems, or we will see each other on Friday to talk about the results.
And once again, please use Discord as the main working tool. I mean, to ask for help, for assistance, help/assistance, and getting things resolved. Do you have any more questions, whatever you have? So before we will close.
Not really a question, but in the lab assessment sign up thing, the last one says March 14th. I think it should say
Yeah, of course.
7th.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I mean, that's we will. I need to double check. Of course, I mean, the true dates are in Canvas, so that's your main reference, of course. So
Yeah.
and so basically you should finish all labs by Friday the 7th of March, and then so you will have 2 or 3 more days on the next week to complete whatever you have missed or you have backlog on. I hope it works fine.
Yeah, I noticed the names of the labs are out of order in the sign-up sheet. I'll fix that.
Yes, please. Okay, but then let's well, last chance. Ask if you have questions.
Just I have one quick question.
Sure.
So I've sort of looked at the first task, the frequency analysis, and it's really just for my own expectation. Is that with this particular lab, is it possible to decrypt the whole ciphertext?
If it
Yeah,
is,
so the
yeah,
should I
yeah,
or
go on, Tim.
so the sort of approach with the frequency analysis is that you sort of take educated guesses based on the statistical analysis. And while there is sort of not necessarily like a fixed algorithm in where you can like sort of solve it in like this many steps guaranteed, you start out with like the most frequent letters. You replace characters in the file like with sort of one letter group at a time, see how it turns out, try it for the next one, and then you just have to sort of like yourself just look at the like half or partially decrypted text and see, oh, does it make sense? Does this look like it's a reasonable word? Especially you can go for these like small English words that appear a lot, like the or a. If you see those sort of popping up in the right places, you know you're on the right track. Or if you end up getting like an XBY as like a single word somewhere, you know, okay, something has gone wrong because that's not a word. Then you can retrace your steps. Fine. Just by first off going on the like most frequent letters that are sort of easy to guess, and then in the end you can just because not that many things are left, you can sort of work by exclusion. So yeah, it is sort of brute force, but it is a very gentle brute force in terms of effort involved.
Yeah, because I think the I mean it is I think the word we use is with the use of statistics and some sort of process. It is trial and error, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
right, and that's exactly what it is. Because I think depending on if you're using trigrams or bigrams or whatever, you may end up doing overwriting and things like this. So there is a bit of trial and error involved. But I was just curious to understand if and also human interaction, the whole recognition of being able to see and understand the context of what you're decoding, I guess. But no, it's just curious to understand if it's possible to decrypt the whole text. So.
Well, you know what you touched on, Ian, is a very interesting and quite complicated topic, and well, maybe it's even more applicable to not directly to security because the symmetric key crypto algorithms, so they are very advanced. So they use substitution only as part of it. So they heavily randomize. So this kind of attack won't work on the mainstream symmetric key algorithms. But what you have said, I mean, it still remains as well one of challenging tasks in the artificial intelligence context. So analysis or understanding of natural texts, natural languages. So and absolutely you are right here. So I mean, to detect or to understand languages, to understand the meaning, so you need to take into account the context. You'll do a lot of guessing and stuff.
That I've realized. Very well said.
Yes. All right. So no, if there are no more questions, so good luck, and talk to you on Discord, and see you on Friday. And just maybe the very last, don't please stay for a second. Just to clarify once again, Tim, can you go to Canvas and modules? Next week is a little bit special because well, I needed to kind of refurbish the course because of your earlier stop date. So next week will be also a practice week, but I chose a module which is kind of quite cool to work with. So you will see pre-recorded lecture, and you will focus on the lab on web security, so this lab 2, and so you will perform several web attacks. So no kind of separate theory week next week. Tim, if you can scroll down, and then I want also, let me see. No, a little bit up to theory 3. Yes. Want to apologize maybe for this early start time, but I will be in a very inconvenient time zone, so like 10 hours difference. So this is the only time I can be live in Zoom. So, but after that week, I will come to more digestible times. Okay, good. Good luck and bye bye.